A flurry of punches and kicks intermixed with miraculous dodges and gravity-defying acrobatics. Martial arts films have captivated the audiences of the world over, and they pop up everywhere, from buddy cop films like Lethal Weapon to classic family films like Kung Fu Panda. But nothing gets the heart pumping like watching a fighting tournament. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 amazing butt-kicking tournament films. Number 1, The Karate Kid. With the upcoming release of the final season of Cobra Kai, as well as the 6th film in the franchise to date, the characters that inhabit this universe have left a lasting legacy on many who grew up with these films. While it does feature some amazing butt-kicking action scenes, it's also filled with a lot of heart, teaching people that martial arts, particularly karate, isn't just a way to do harm, but a way to master the chaos of life itself. As Mr. Miyagi so delicately put it, karate is for defense only. The original film is a timeless classic. The geeky outsider who gets bullied and needs a way to stand up for himself. So he signs up for karate classes. But instead of just learning some ways to turn the tables on his adversaries, he learns how to become a real man. One with courage to stand up for what's right and protect those around him that cannot defend themselves. Of course, there's a little mischief sprinkled throughout, and a huge role reversal revelation comes out during the streaming series. But I believe it's safe to say that we all wish we had a mentor like Miyagi in our lives. Check them all out over on Starz, Hulu, Sling TV, Roku, Prime, and Philo. Number 2, Bloodsport. The film that put Jean-Claude Van Damme on the map. It was originally supposed to be inspired by the true events of Frank Dukes, but sadly, a lot of those facts turned out to be fiction. Regardless, this is still one of the most epic tournament fighting style films ever made, and even inspired the late great Akira Toriyama for doing the tournament sagas on Dragon Ball Z. Van Damme, of course, plays the titular hero Frank Dukes, and his nemesis, Chong-Li, is chillingly portrayed by Bolo Yeung. It's definitely an early example of Asian exploitation that became popular during the 80s, featuring a white main character kicking ass all over China. But that doesn't diminish the epicness that occurs throughout the film. Frank pretty much goes AWOL so he can enter the secret underground tournament to prove that he is the best fighter. He quickly makes friends and enemies with the other contestants, in particular an American wrestling champion, Ray Jackson. However, when Ray faces off against Chong-Li, he is gravely injured, which only serves to ignite the fire in Duke's soul. And it all culminates in a fantastical showdown in the final match. Killer soundtrack, superb fighting choreography, and all the sweaty man muscles your eyes can absorb. Head over to Tubi, Roku, MGM+, Sling TV, Prime, Philo, and Apple TV to check it out. Number 3, Best of the Best. Based loosely on the true story of the All-American martial arts team as they take on the Korean champions for the gold. It has a stacked cast, at the time relatively unknown, featuring the likes of Eric Roberts, Philip Ree, Chris Penn, James Earl Jones, David Agresta, and Sally Kirkland. Even horror legend Jason Voorhees himself, Kane Hodder, makes an appearance in the film. See if you can spot him. The story here is more about rivalry and overcoming your own hang-ups than anything, especially in the main characters Tommy and Alex. Alex is having trouble dealing with a custody battle over his son, as well as some issues from some injuries, which ruined his potential career in the sports industry. Tommy, on the other hand, his brother died in the last tournament against the Koreans. And guess what? He's matched up to the very guy who killed him. Bar brawls, training montages, and brotherly love filled out the majority of this film. And then the tournament begins, and it will leave you on the edge of your seat just to see who wins each bracket. Head over to Prime, Apple TV, or Fandango to check this one out. There's also a few sequels, but they stray pretty far from the whole martial arts competition style into more action hero territory. Number 4, Kickboxer. Another Van Damme vehicle coming hot off his success in the previous year's Bloodsport. This time he plays Kurt Sloan, the younger brother to Eric Sloan, a world-class mixed martial arts competitor. When Eric is paralyzed during a fighting tournament against reigning champion Tong Po, Kurt must use all the lessons he's learned over the years to train himself up and avenge his brother, all while avoiding some dastardly tirade antics. He even falls in love with a young local woman named Miley, who tries to urge him to walk away. But of course, this is something Kurt absolutely has to do. It's not as colorful as Bloodsport was. The focus is less on the other competing fighters and more just on the rivalry between Kurt and Tong Po. But man, when that fight breaks out, it is unbelievably epic. Not only is it to the death, but they dip their wrapped fists in glue and crushed glass, which makes every blow a near fatal one. If you're looking for ripped dudes tearing each other to shreds, Mortal Kombat style, this is definitely the film for you. Be sure to check it out over on Pluto, Prime, AMC Plus, Philo, Sling TV, and Fandango. Number 5, Fearless. Inspired by true events, the film follows Hua Yunjia, played by Jet Li, a literal wushu master, taking place in the final years of the Qing dynasty, before the birth of the Republic of China. Over the course of the film, we watch Master Hua as he displays his indomitable spirit and his untouchable fighting techniques, defeating opponents of various nations and styles, raising his name to legendary status, and even opening up his own school. At this point in time, this was a high honor, as many soldiers from militaries as well as locals who wished to learn a different path in life would flock to these great masters, eager to learn all the wisdom they could be bestowed upon them. Beautifully shot with some of the most amazing stunt choreography ever put to screen. This is the most epic martial arts journey in film history. Make sure to check it out for yourself over on Prime, Apple TV, or Fandango.
Hey folks, sorry to interrupt, but we just launched our very own merch store at fatninja.shop. We sell everything from t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more, so we would greatly appreciate it if you checked it out. All the proceeds go to our future projects, so it helps us make any kind of movies and short films that we want to make in the future. So if you got time, check out fatninja.shop. Thanks again, and back to the video.
Number 6, Man of Tai Chi. Keanu Reeves is known for playing quiet, reserved characters with lightning-fast martial arts abilities, especially after the explosion that was The Matrix. Before he revitalized his career with the John Wick series, Keanu Reeves returned to form in Man of Tai Chi, where he plays Donaka Mark, a man who hosts underground fighting tournaments and a fearsome fighter in his own right. He tries to recruit a young man named Tiger, a disciple of Tai Chi at the Wu Ling Wang competition. But Tiger refuses, as fighting for money would compromise his honor. So of course, Donaka manipulates events which force Tiger to have to participate in the tournament in order to save his temple. With some brilliant fighting and some really interesting cinematography, this film definitely deserves a spot on your must-watch list. You can find it on Starz, Hulu, Roku, Prime, Philo, and Apple TV. Number 7. Tekken. Based on the video game series of the same name, it stars John Fo as Jin Kazama, a young rebel who makes money smuggling contraband to groups that oppose the Tekken Corporation, a conglomerate that runs North America. In order to keep the people in check, the Tekken Corporation hosts a tournament called the Iron Fist, where fighters from other mega corporations around the world can participate, and the winner receives a lifetime of wealth and fame. During a small-time fight, Jin impresses Kazuya Mishima, son of Tekken CEO Hayachi Mishima, and so he offers him a job within the corporation. However, Jin refuses. So Kazuya dispatches Nina Williams to attack and kill Jin, but he manages to survive and escape. This sets in motion his plan to join the Iron Fist and defeat them all. There are some fun fights throughout, especially if you're a fan of the games, calling back to special moves you can perform, as well as a racy love subplot. The film was overshadowed by the likes of other fighting games films like Mortal Kombat and Dead or Alive, but it definitely warrants checking out, so hop over to Tubi, Pluto, Roku, Prime, or Fandango to stream it. Number 8. Enter the Dragon. Starring Bruce Lee, the Dragon himself, as well as, blink and you'll miss it, appearances of Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung. The film follows Lee, a martial arts instructor from Hong Kong, when he is approached by an MI6 agent investigating a crime lord named Han. They need Lee to enter a special tournament on Han's private island so they can gather evidence that will prove his involvement in drug trafficking and prostitution. Not only that, but O'Hara, the man responsible for Lee's sister's death, is a bodyguard to Han himself. The island, of course, is beautiful, and the tournament begins immediately once they set foot there, with people issuing challenges to one another right off the bat as little exhibition matches. Eventually, Lee faces off with O'Hara, beating him up and humiliating him, and then finally killing him using a pair of broken bottles. All while the tournament is happening, the agents are sneaking around, doing their thing, which is getting people to put to death in gruesome fashion. Finally, the film culminates in an all-out brawl between Han's remaining men and Lee and some friends he's made. An epic and bloody finale. It's definitely a feast for your eyes. You can see it for yourself over on Tubi, Apple TV, Fandango, and Prime. Number 9. Mortal Kombat. We're talking about the 1995 film adaptation, not the 2021 reimagining. The new one isn't bad by any means. I love Hiroyuki Sanada as Scorpion, and some of the more brutal fatalities. But honestly, Cole Young kind of ruined it for me with his plot armor, superpower, and yeah. So, with that said, the original might not completely hold up in the effects department, but man, it captures the spirit and the fun. All those feelings you had as a young teen booting up the game and whooping your friends using a mix of combos and spamming uppercut. And of course, who can forget the theme song? I mean, even people who never played the game were bumping that song when it released. It topped radio charts all over. Test your might indeed. While the sequel left something to be desired, the first film completely captured the spirit of the game, and did a decent job with the story and its characters. It didn't try to over-convolute it like the new film, and pretty much all the characters featured in the film were actual characters from the games, so that's a huge bonus. If you're looking to geek out on a Friday night with some classic action nostalgia, make sure to hop over to Tubi, Prime, Apple TV, or Fandango and check this film out. Number 10, Ong Bak. As much as I love The Protector and think it's the all-time best Tony Jaa film, you cannot deny that this film put him on the map in the first place. A master at Muay Thai, also known as Thai boxing, Tony Jaa crushes opponents twice his size with his formidable skill in gravity-defying martial arts acrobatics. The story keeps it pretty simple. Some thieves from Bangkok desecrate and take the head of an ancient Buddha statue from Bang Nong Pradu, a village in rural Thailand. Ting, played by Jaa, volunteers to travel to Bangkok and recover the head, and so sets off on his quest, his only lead being a man named Don, a drug dealer who tried to purchase an amulet in the village a little while earlier. At first, Ting tries to buy back the head with a bag full of money donated by the people of the village. But when it's stolen from him, he has no other choice but to join an underground fighting tournament to win the money back and retrieve the head. Epic fight scenes follow as diminutive Jaa topples opponent after opponent, eventually getting the head back and restoring it to its rightful place. A heart-racing, fist-pumping, adrenaline-fueled action ride. Be sure to check it out over on Fubu, Prime, Sling, Fandango, or Redbox. Number 11 is an honorable mention, being Lady Bloodfight. One of the rare female-led martial arts fighting films, it stars Amy Johnson as Jane, an American backpacking her way through Hong Kong, when suddenly she's attacked by some thugs, and she manages to fend them off. This is witnessed by Shu, a female fighting champion who recruits and trains Jane to fight in an all-female underground martial arts tournament known simply as a kumite. These other fighters are straight killers, however, so Jane must give it her all if she wants to survive to the end, including taking on the apprentice of Shu's nemesis, Ling, a Shaolin master. Fast-paced, well-choreographed, it's definitely worth checking out. Find it over on Tubi, Pluto, Fandango, Prime, and Apple TV. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next future film projects, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again, and take care.